welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we have a fun, colorful bracelet that we're working on. It was my take on the 8487. Um, I can't remember which was the other pattern that had this similar button thing, but we did a button like this um, a while back. And as I was going into this, I'm like, hey, there's something familiar. Except for this one, because there's a couple strands of the red. I didn't have to like bounce inside of the box, which made that part a little bit easier. You still have to use the knots that go to the left and to the right in this bracelet, um, but not an awful lot. It's not super crazy. I think actually the arrowhead start of it actually has um, more zigzags than the main part of the whole bracelet itself. The difficulty level of this, I would say, is it's not bad. This is not bad at all. There's very little that you could get hung up with on it. Um, the colors on my screen are making it look like it's orange and yellow, kind of. Um, but in my hands, I don't know if it'll show up different on there. It's more of a red, orange, yellow, right? So the darkest ones, and I don't think I can correct for this, unfortunately. But so that is what it is. But it is a red, orange, yellow, which I think was a kind of a nice. Oh, and then I didn't use black. I used a very dark gray. Um, and I think the way that the red, orange, yellow is sort of like a partly a fade and yet contrast and all hot colors is what really kind of made this pattern really kind of work for me. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's probably because I really like the hot colors. Um, but I mean, if you were to try this in cold, if you went like, um, I guess you could go purple, blue, green, something like that. That would work out just as well, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, so it's essentially it's four colors. It's 16 strings. Um, Obviously, I doubled that, made myself a nice little kumi for it, and yeah, it's it was cool. And so like, there's only okay, so there's like this little zigzag part at the beginning, right? And then you get into the meat of it, and then the meat of it, it's basically these big diamonds that have um, the yellow kind of going around the outside with a like a broken line in between there, and then like the button on the inside. They go pretty quickly. Like this whole thing took me 94 minutes, so just over an hour and a half to make the whole thing. So basically, um, a lot of the making videos is my chance to actually watch stuff. So I use this opportunity to watch some Disney. I watched that the Loki series, and that was a lot of fun. That was totally a lot of fun. But because the bracelet was over so quickly, I barely got in two episodes. So I mean, that kind of tells you like that's yeah, you know. Um, there's no real hang up. You can tell though. Okay, so if you're watching this to see like how I tried to minimize the amount of effort that it takes to go into it, yeah, I totally went kind of all in on that. You can see a lot of places where um like how I worked out here, I had worked out the right hand side first, and now I'm working on the left hand side. The only place that I really didn't do that, and I kind of spoke about this during the live stream where I was actually recording the making process. There is a in those diamonds that I make into the center, I went ahead and went all the way to the middle on both sides before going. I didn't have to because it could carry all the way from the left, all from the farthest left upper to the lowest right lower. That could have been one really nice long row. And I didn't do that. Um, I can't, I mean, I totally could have. I totally could have. But it just felt easier when it came to the balance of things and seeing where I am and stuff. It just kind of made more sense to me to just close off that diamond, work on an area. Yeah, it's and it's again, it goes back to what I talk about. There is a whole element of your preference, um, doing it the way that's most comfortable to you. And that's why I don't speak like some other teachers. Even when I write for this stuff, right? Um, it says if you want to sound more knowledgeable, take out the ifs and the little pieces that are um, where I say that it could be done differently. Make it sound more authoritative, and by definitively saying this is how it's done. But I don't believe in that. I believe that there is an element to this where it should be your own. It should be comfortable to you and how you want to see it and how you approach it, um, that makes it work for you. Mind you, there's still basic rules that you're going to have to follow, right? You can't put lower knots in before the upper knots. It doesn't work. That's where things get really weird and broken and doesn't work, right? So there are basic things that you have to follow. But then there's other things that it's a little bit looser. You can kind of work. I've seen where people just do row straight down, one go across, come back. I imagine like how a typewriter, right? Like how well, a Word document now, I guess. That showed my age there, right? Um, that's how they do their bracelets. For me, that makes no sense because I really do enjoy the idea of segmenting it, staying concentrated on one area at a time makes more sense to me. But if that somehow does not work for you, there are alternatives. If you have questions about it, ask me. Maybe I can help. Maybe I can, you know, either show you why I do it my way, or maybe I help you develop your method to be more efficient. It's, I don't know. I think there's there is room to try things differently. So if you hadn't figured out, the one I was talking about where I did the box is this gray, and see now I'm picking up and do the other half of it. That was the one where I could have actually started from the far left and came across, and I knew it as I was doing it. Um, but there's something about where the diamonds are and how the thing acts that it just made me more comfortable to have that in there. So let's see. So at this point, these little diamonds on the side are super super easy, and because there's as many grays as there are, you don't even have to do the right and then left, because it's there's just there's another one come back the other direction, so I just let them go straight. um didn't need to, just did. um I think out of all of the strings, the one that probably got used the most is this outer grays here. But overall, I did not have um, anything that caused me to have any kind of stress as to think that maybe I could run out of string. It's just, no, it's a pretty well balanced as far as that goes. Um, yeah, not bad at all. What else could I tell you? I can tell you that again, because it's there, it's like three of this diamond thing. It felt super fast. I mean, honestly, I kind of on this kind of thing, it's so easy to sort of lose track of where I'm at and how quickly it's going, just because it's like boom, okay, I got one done. I gotta make the little diamond right there, and boom, I got another one done. And like, ooh, then, that's halfway, and then boom, another one done. Wow, now I'm gonna just do an arrowhead to close it out. It's it just felt wonderfully quick. Um, because like there are patterns where I absolutely kind of dread going into them because it's just like, man, it just feels like forever. Um, but this wasn't one. This was good. So yeah, speaking of, this is kind of the halfway area right there, right? The little four, well, the button thing with the four dots, right? Two of those dots are the center line. So I would like to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for all of the help you guys give me in keeping this channel going. It's absolutely great, guys. I really do appreciate it. Um, there are so many little things that I want to do to help make the channel better, things like new cameras and some other stuff. So every little bit helps towards getting those goals. And yeah, I mean, the hope is we grow the channel big enough that it gets monetized and we do more giveaways and we have a lot more fun around here. But so far it's nice. It's still nice. It feels like we're family, we're close, and we can build the content and we can show each other the stuff that we made. And I like that. I like that a lot. So thank you very much, guys. Um, so yeah, back to making little diamond things again. This stuff, it's seriously like this is like some of that very beginner making a bracelet kind of thing that, you know, you just look at it, it's just, the little half diamonds, right? This is like seriously, this is like my very, very early bracelet making things, like just playing around with the diamonds that just kind of bullseye in and then the ones on the side and mind you, those just use up like certain colors way more than others if you just do nothing but that. But this has got interesting ways of breaking up the the strings and exchanging one for another, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, so it's yellow for the one diamond. There's red in the very center of that. There's orange is on the longer part of those outside diamonds, and then it's red in the corners, the little tiny one on the sides, right? So you got red in the center and red on the very sides. Um, which really, because it's very red, yellow, orange, red, it just pops. It just gives it this really cool kind of dynamic to it. I really I could totally see myself rocking this bracelet. It's pretty darn cool. I like it a lot. Um yeah, that's what else? Oh, wait. So today is Friday, right? So tomorrow we have live streams. So if you want to watch me make stuff in real time and you don't want to be a member because they get to watch me make stuff all the time, um, then come to the live stream. It's 10 p.m. Singapore time. We kind of hang out, making bags, having fun. Typically, it's a pretty good time, actually. I enjoy interacting with the people who follow me. It makes it a lot of fun for me. So, yeah. Um, yeah, come check it out. It'll be fun. So, yeah, so this is like I said, I think the little four dots things with the gray around it, I think it looks like a button. So this is the third button getting done now, and the third is the last of them, right? Because we the way I work this, I don't know. Did you guys see this video where I made the pattern? The whole idea to making up the pattern was so I could balance off those things in the center and then kind of break into something different so it didn't so it kind of ended really interesting and nice and different. So because I like making the patterns my own. It's a lot more fun for me to just, you know, try something different. And man, look how far away from the clip I'm working. Like seriously. Um, I guess I was really trying to make it so that way the camera could kind of see what I was doing. But yeah, that's a long way from the clip, man. And obviously, I will shift it. I knew that was coming. I totally remembered the fact that, like, as I was at that point, I'm like, I really should move that. Ah, it's too funny. Yeah. So now at this point, it's going into the more or less an arrowhead type design, and um, kind of decided I was just going to kind of really go a little bit more in on this idea of like doing it by segments and stuff. So, like, I kind of made the area where now this orange can come all the way to where it ends on the right. And that way I can kind of build it up in a sort of different way. Like, um, it was a bit experimental, but I think it really kind of worked out really nicely. So, I don't know if this is going to help anybody out there, but if you watch this part, it might help you with your arrowheads. Just saying. So yeah, the first one coming in is an orange, and like the next two colors are the reds. So it's sort of a, again, it didn't use a lot of orange, it didn't use a lot of the yellow, it didn't use, and there's two sets of the red. So any kind of using it definitely got split between all of those. So yeah. And then the grays, they get bounced around an awful lot. So I think it really kind of it balances the string really, really well. Yeah. So let's see what else, because we're getting near the end here, man. This is there's not much of it left. That's the red that sort of goes out to the end. Like, yeah, actually the strings on the far left hand side, they're already all done. They won't get used anymore. So yeah, if you guys have questions and stuff, leave it in the comments. I do try to contact everybody and help them out. Sometimes it may take a little while. The time zones makes it so that way a lot of times I get the questions at weird hours of the night, but then the next morning I do make an effort to try to answer everybody. So all right. What else? I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Like that's like it's a story of my life. I'm definitely forgetting something, right? Um, I don't know, but I hope you enjoyed this bracelet. I definitely want to see it. If you make it, go ahead and tag me, or send it over into Discord or something. That always works. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.